Aloha, this is Sky, the Soulful Progressive with FNN, Feminist News Network, the Feminist News that's right for you. Welcome to Sky in the studio. That's right. So you know, if I gotta come to the studio, it's important to bring that soulful news straight to you. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and share and tell a friend today. All right, so what do I want to talk about? The Trump responses. That's right. Not only Stacey Abrams, the first black female to give a Democratic response to the State of the Union address. All right, okay, go girl, hey, hey. But Bernie also gave his independent speech after the speech. And this is after Stacey. Now, people are saying that it's racist of Bernie to do this speech. No, it ain't. And after we take a look at some of the best parts of what Stacey said, we're going to talk and discuss. All right. So let's take a quick look at her speech and let's discuss. All right.
Hello Americans, and happy Lunar New Year. I'm Stacey Abrams, and I'm honored to join the conversation about the state of our union. Growing up, my family went back and forth between lower middle class and working class. Yet even when they came home weary and bone-tired, my parents found a way to show us all who we could be. My librarian mother taught us to love learning. My father, a shipyard worker, put in overtime and extra shifts, and they made sure we volunteered to help others. Later, they both became United Methodist ministers, an expression of the faith that guides us. These were our family values: faith, service, education, and responsibility. Our power and strength as Americans lives in our hard work and our belief in more. My family understood firsthand that while success is not guaranteed, we live in a nation where opportunity is possible. This uncommon grace of community that has driven me to become an attorney, a small business owner, a writer, and most recently, the Democratic nominee for governor of Georgia. Making livelihoods of our federal workers a pawn for political games is a disgrace. The shutdown was a stunt, engineered by the President of the United States, one that defied every tenet of fairness and abandoned not just our people, but our values. We may come from different sides of the political aisle, but our joint commitment to the ideals of this nation cannot be negotiable. Our most urgent work is to realize Americans' dreams of today and tomorrow, to carve a path to independence and prosperity that can last a lifetime. Children deserve an excellent education from cradle to career. We owe them safe schools and the highest standards, regardless of zip code. Yet this White House responds timidly, while first graders practice active shooter drills, and the price of higher education grows ever steeper. From now on, our leaders must be willing to tackle gun safety measures and face the crippling effect of educational loans, to support educators and invest what is necessary to unleash the power of America's greatest minds. In Georgia and around the country, striving for a middle class where a salary truly equals economic security. But instead, families' hopes are being crushed by Republican leadership that ignores real life or just doesn't understand it. Under the current administration, far too many hard-working Americans are falling behind, living paycheck to paycheck, most without labor unions to protect them from even worse harm. The Republican tax bill rigged the system against working people. Rather than bringing back jobs, plants are closing, layoffs are looming, and wages struggle to keep pace with the actual cost of living. Actions. Women and men who could thrive if only they had the support and freedom to do so. We know bipartisanship could craft a 21st century immigration plan, but this administration chooses to cage children and tear families apart. But we must all embrace that from agriculture to healthcare to entrepreneurship, America is made stronger by the presence of immigrants, not walls. And rather than suing to dismantle the Affordable Care Act, as Republican attorneys general have, our leaders must protect the progress we've made and commit to expanding healthcare and lowering costs forever into debt. Because while you can defer some payments, you can't defer cancer treatment. In this great nation, Americans are skipping blood pressure pills, forced to choose between buying medicine or paying rent. Maternal mortality rates show that mothers, especially Black mothers, risk death to give birth. And in 14 states, including my home state, where a majority want it, our leaders refuse to expand Medicaid, which could save rural hospitals, save economies, and save lives. Let's be clear. Voter suppression is real. From making it harder to register and stay on the rolls, to moving and closing polling places, to rejecting lawful ballots, we can no longer ignore these threats to democracy. The foundation of our moral leadership around the globe is free and fair elections, where voters pick their leaders, not where politicians pick their voters. We fought Jim Crow with the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. Yet we continue to confront racism from our past and in our present, which is why we must hold everyone from the highest offices to our own families accountable for racist words and deeds, and call racism what it is, wrong. Never forget, it is immoral to allow politicians to harm women and families to advance a political agenda. But we need him to tell the truth and to respect his duties and respect the extraordinary diversity that defines America. Wrong. Thank you, and may God bless the United States of America.
I know that's right. Now, she came across some good points. Now, after she talked about her father, her family, the ministry, and all the other little platitudes, she really got to the meat of the matter. Now, if you ignore the fact that she spoke about Reagan and Obama, she did say some good things. And what were those good things? Let me point them out to you. She talked about labor unions. That's right. We do need to build up and bring back the labor unions. Nobody never talks about the unions anymore. And mentioning the loss of job, you know, the Ford plant is ready to close up in Detroit. About close to 2,000 are going to lose their jobs. More and more jobs going to Mexico and overseas. And with the tariffs, they're blaming that for taking away union jobs to move them elsewhere. Sanctions is a bad excuse. I know. And then she did tell the truth when she had mentioned that the Republicans have abandoned the people and their values for capitalism, money, donors, and for the war industry and prison industry. She's right about that. No taking it back. Now, she also talked about how every child needs to be educated from cradle to career. And that's right. What is going on now? When I'm in my 50s, but for a lot of people when they were younger, school was taken care of. Now you can't even get a loan, and if you do, you got to mortgage your house for it. That isn't right. Education should be for everyone, and they need more STEM education to be put out. And you know, coding shouldn't be the luck of chance to get. Everybody should be doing coding and not wait for a program to get it. You know, because you got to move toward the future. It isn't all going to be automation. Somebody's going to have to run those things. And to think that you cannot get new jobs off on a Green New Deal, if you don't think you cannot get jobs off a Green New Deal, that is false and wrong. There's plenty of good jobs waiting with a Green New Deal, and we can switch over to a green economy. And we're showing that here in Hawaii by allowing hemp to be used industrially. That was a plus for our economy, and it could be a plus for a lot of others if they properly take on green new jobs. Now, she also mentioned at the very end, she did mention health care. She didn't say as much as Stacey said about taking on Big Pharma and making sure Medicare for all is for all, but she did mention how they're suppressing the expansion of Medicare in her state of Georgia like they do in so many other Republican southern states. And they're doing what they doing up in California. They stopped it in California. They wanted Medicare for all, and even the Democrats choked that. So, Stacey is saying a lot of things that are beyond left of the DNC. And it's a lot of things that America needed to hear. So, it was followed up by Bernie. Now, what did Bernie say? What did Bernie do? He says what he always says. He has said what he always said. His rule book has not changed. Incarcerate the war criminals. Medicare for all, Medicaid for all. Stop the wars. And help people with education. Help people with jobs. Clean Flint's water. We know what Bernie's about. He's tried and true. Now, the thing is, you got some people, I've even heard Jimmy Dore say this, well, Stacey needed to yell, they needed to get feisty. Stacey needs to yell, she needs to get feisty. Now, y'all need to pay attention. You men out there aren't paying attention. Let me help you. Now, if these women were to get loud, do the Howard Dean, what if Stacey got up there and got black and angry like Nina Turner up there? This is not a woman's march. You cannot go to the American people the first time as an African-American woman, she's already wearing dreads on her head, and then you want her to get mad and angry so everybody can call her a black angry woman? Nobody would even pay attention to what they were saying because they'd be all caught up in her attitude. Now, Bernie can afford that attitude. Bernie can afford to get angry. Bernie can afford to get the word across the way he wants it because he's got that leverage as, let's say it like it is, an older white politician that's been around for a while. That's right. Now, Howard Dean got talked about the way he did because he wasn't that candidate. You know what I'm saying? Now, nobody's considering Stacey as that candidate. Now, Stacey is that candidate. And Stacey can make a good VP for Stacey, just like she can make a good VP for Nina. But the thing is, you cannot get fired up. Now, Nina can afford to get fired up. Nina can go out there and say that she's an angry black woman. As a matter of fact, let's hear her say it right now.
And I want my sisters out there, no matter what you identify culturally or ethnically or sexually, I want you to understand that I am an angry ass black woman. And we taking applications, baby. You can be an angry black woman, too.
And stay angry. I know that's right. Now, see, she has the political, what is the word I'm looking for? She's got the political leverage where she can do that. She's been out there for a while. They already know of Nina Turner. Stacey is now hitting the national stage due to the fact to the systemic oppression of the votes being stolen in Georgia to the point to where everyone noticed. Hello. And she did not succeed like she shouldn't have, and she should still keep fighting. And she did mention fairfight.org, which is her organization that is still working to create fair votes, along with people like Palance and his voter ranking correction system that he has. Now, if you agree, now you know that those women, Telsey and Stacey, cannot go out acting a fool like that. These women need to be taken seriously. Now, if we were in the type of society where they could get loud and they could act like angry women and without being ridiculed, that would be nice. But see, that ain't going to happen. And we know this. We've seen this. Shirley Chisholm would go out there and scream and yell and say what is needed. And they never even gave her a second look, even though she got a chance to at least debate. Now, if you think that Stacey, like Telsey, should be screaming and yelling and acting a fool and saying, we gotta get this done! We better clean this stuff up right now! If you think they can do that without looking crazy and ruining their reputation, leave comments below. But I don't think so. And you can contact me at FeministNewsN@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Feminist News Network. And don't forget to like the Facebook page. Yeah, and now I'm on Patreon. All right. And you can always still get a Feminist News tee. That's right indeed. All right, so now I'm showing my PayPal link. You can always donate. We're getting ready to go to D.C. Yes, indeed. Let's just hope that Trump doesn't do nothing to ruin it. No telling what's going to happen on the 8th. Now, you got to remember, in this era of hate, you cannot discriminate. You must take action, or it will determine your fate. I know that's right. Okay, so thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Peace.